Imagine you are a 28-year-old woman and you have what you think is the rest of your life ahead of you, and you've married the man of your dreams, except for this man is not the man of your dreams. He's the stuff of nightmares. If this sounds interesting to you, this is the case of Mamta Bhatt. And if you want to know more about her case, please continue watching. Mamta Bhatt was 28 years old when she went missing on or about July 30th, but her husband, Naresh Bhatt, waited for several days before he called the police because he claimed that Mata had did this before and she would always come back, so he wasn't worried. But many people were beginning to question that at the beginning of this story because this young 28-year-old mother had a baby girl that she had always wanted, and when she found out that she was pregnant with her baby girl, she was ecstatic. And her friends slash co-workers were the ones to report her missing. More specifically, one co-worker who's spearheading the search for her, and as well as the main one to report her missing. This co-worker is Nadia Navarro, and she is Mamta's friend, and she also lived with Mamta for a time when Naresh was deployed in his field of the military, and so they had became very close. But things soon turned sour when Naresh returned home because he would only allow Mamta to go so far from the house. I think it was at least 5 miles that she was only allowed to go away from the home unless she was going to work. And this is a sad distance for anyone, pregnant or not, a new mom or not. This is a very sad existence for someone to feel like they're living in a cage and can't do anything. But that is what men like Naresh tend to do with their wives, and that is something normal in their culture for them to be controlling and not let their wives have much freedom because they really believe that their wife's place is in the home. But unfortunately, Mamta was not a mom who was going to stay home because she was also a nurse at her local hospital, and she also was a great nurse at that, and she studied very hard to get that position. And I'm sure with success like that to a man like Naresh comes a little bit or a lot of jealousy. So unfortunately for Mamta, she had to be the one on the receiving end of this jealousy. Friends were concerned when they didn't see her show up for her shift at work, and the last time they had seen her was maybe a day or two before at a baby shower. And when she didn't show up for work, that is when they reported her missing. And it is sad that she helped so many women after they had delivered their babies and were getting the chance to enjoy them and live in the moment. But unfortunately, she could not do the same because of her husband that she had to deal with at home, who was physically abusive, allegedly, and possibly verbally abusive, allegedly. But like I said, those men in that culture, I think that is a normal thing for them. And unfortunately, Mamta had to be on the receiving end of that. And I don't know if this is true or not, but there are rumors speculating that Mamta and Naresh's marriage was an arranged marriage. And yet again, that is something that is normal in a lot of cultures where the parents will have a friend, and if they have a son or the opposite um, gender, like for instance, Mamta is a female and her husband Naresh, of course, is a male, and so that is a thing that happens within each of the families. And they're good friends. They might tell their friend, "Hey, when my daughter gets a little older, we'll hand her off to your son," but they get a some type of a dowry that comes along with the bride to be. And that is something like back in the olden days, like maybe the 30s, the 40s, or maybe even up until like the 60s and 70s, depending on what the family could offer besides money, might have been something as simple as a cow or two cows and a chicken, things of that nature. But I don't think that was the case in Mamta's arranged marriage. I think maybe it was just, hey, you have a son, we have a daughter, we're really good friends, so we're going to arrange this marriage so that when my daughter gets a little older, she can marry your son. Now, I'm not sure how old Naresh is, but usually in arranged marriages, the man is a little bit older, if not a lot older, than the bride to be. So, this is probably the case, or they may be the same age. But I would like to know what happened on the night of her alleged disappearance. And for the sake of this story, since he has been arrested for concealment of a unalive person, aka a body, I would like to know what happened. My theory is that, and this is all alleged, since he was seen on camera at a Walmart outside of his area buying cleaning supplies, I suspect that he bought the cleaning supplies to clean up after he killed Mamta, because not only did he buy cleaning supplies, he bought knives, three of them to be exact. And if I'm not mistaken, two of them right now are missing from that three pack that he bought. So my theory is that he stabbed Mamta, drug her into their master bathroom that's inside their bedroom, put her body in the tub, and dismembered her body somehow using one of those two, if not both of those knives. And however he dismembered her, there was a lot of blood. And when he was assigned a public defender, because he claims that he didn't have any money after Mamta left because he couldn't go to work, so he lost his job. But he is saying that, he's suffering, his baby is suffering, but really when I look at him, I see nothing but anger and emptiness, like an an empty shell of a person. They have no soul, but they're angry all of the time, and that's exactly what I see in Naresh. Now, I could be wrong, and that could just be something, how they express themselves in their culture. But like I said, I believe that he killed Mamta in the master bedroom, and then he proceeded to drag her into their master bath.
Bring her case to the national forefront, and they have. What does her husband have to say? Listen to our friends at WUSA.
Yeah, it's been very terrible time, like we are just, like my baby and then myself, we are just waiting minute and second, every minute and second, just waiting like to get the, I don't know how to explain.
And more from our friends at WUSA. Listen to Mamta's husband.
Been like, very good, like, since like few months, like before that, one time we have like some arguments because, yeah.
Do you want to grab her?
Yeah.
Now, I'm very curious about many other statements made by her husband, Naresh Bhatt, but I want you to hear this from WUSA 9.
So I'm the sufferer one. I'm the sufferer. My baby and then myself, like we are suffering the most.
She's the one.
Not only was this man so heartless as to kill this woman in their bedroom and then drag her to the master bathroom in their bedroom. Like I said, it is my theory that he did this and then he put her body in the tub and dismembered her body. But I take that back. I don't think he actually dismembered her body. In fact, I know he didn't, because the court records state that he actually killed her and then he proceeded to drag her outside, and I guess he then put her in a car and maybe took her somewhere and dumped her. This case is actually very reminiscent of Adam Walsh and Anna Walsh. Her idiot of a husband put her body or body parts, some of them anyway, in a landfill, and he proceeded to act like he didn't know where she was, that she'd left for a work trip and she took a ride share company like Lyft or Uber. He didn't specify which one. But this case is very reminiscent of that case, because there are so many similarities, like the husbands that are like soulless pieces of crap. They doubt that Mamta ran away because she was very excited about the baby girl that she had, and they doubt that she would just run away and leave her baby girl. Now, I'm not sure if this was a misprint or not, but in the articles that I've read, especially one, they refer to Mamta as a mother of two. Now, I knew about the baby girl that she had that was about to turn one when she went missing. The little girl was actually 11 months old when her mother went missing, and she had just celebrated her first birthday while they were still searching for her mother. But I find it very strange that Naresh was not going to celebrate his daughter's first birthday. The idea actually came from Mamta's friend, Navarro. She said it came about because she wanted to see the baby. So she told him, since her birthday is, coming up, let's throw her a little party And at first he refused. And then after she talked him into it, he was like, okay, okay, we can do it or whatever. But she said that there were times when he kept disappearing during the party. Like, he would just disappear, I guess, go into the house, and no one followed him in there to see what he was doing. And then there were times as well when the baby would cry, he would take her into the house, and they don't know what he was doing with her while he was in there. Say that when he brought the baby back out to finish celebrating the birthday party after he would take her in the house, and she wouldn't be crying anymore when he brought her back out. So I'm wondering, what was he doing? Was he like spanking the baby, like to get her to stop crying? Because men, they, unless they have been dealing with raising a baby or a child from day one, they don't really know how to have that nurturing side to them like a mother would. So that might be something that they resort to, is spanking the child, but hopefully that wasn't the case. But I also find it strange that he sold his car, which was a Tesla, I believe, and he was trying to sell his home before he got arrested. Now, they also said that there were passports laid out in the home in plain view for, I guess, the police to see, and everyone who entered that day, they saw them as well. And it is believed that he was going to flee. And I think the judge also agrees, because he said that Naresh is a flight risk, which he is, because he could take off and go back to his home in Nepal. I think that is the city or country where he is, I guess, from, or he has family there. And I know that Mamta has family there. Very strange that he thought that people were going to fall for the lie that he was telling when he said that Mamta went to visit family in New York, and then he also switched up his lie and said that she went to visit family somewhere else. But everybody who knew her said they knew that she didn't have any family here in the US. And then he was like, oh no, I meant a friend of hers that is like a sister to her. But I find that hard to believe that he thought people were going to believe that as well, because he never let this woman go any further than 5 miles outside of their home unless she had to go to work. So I don't know how he thought somebody was going to believe that he let her get on a plane by herself and go to New York and other places that he tried to convince people that she went to visit family or friends that are like family. I don't know what he was thinking. Actually, that brings me to a good point. I don't know if these people are thinking before they commit these crimes. I don't know if they watch the news before they commit these crimes, but that just shows you how some people can think that they are the smartest person in the room, and that they can outsmart police and detectives. And even in this case, I guess he thought he was going to outsmart forensics, the science of it all. But one thing about forensics and the science of it is that it cannot, under any circumstances, lie. Because I mean, if you're looking for a person's DNA, it is going to be in their blood which was found all over the house. And it said that it looked like the carpet had been manipulated, like someone was trying to clean up. So that shows you that he knew what he was doing right there was against the law and even wrong. So I just wonder, was he thinking, or do people ever think before they commit these crimes? It's like they don't watch the news, but they think they can outsmart everybody involved. Here that Naresh did when it came to the birthday party and the friend being there. He wanted to talk to her alone, but everybody told her, no, we're not going to let you be alone with this guy because we think that he did this or did something to Mamta, and we don't want him to try to hurt you. Now, my question is, what do you all think he was going to try to do to her? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I think that he was going to try to get her to stay after everyone had left, and he was going to say he needed to talk to her like he did say, but he was going to try to unalive her like he allegedly, possibly did Mamta, and he was going to tell everybody, oh, she left and went home. Going to take the baby back to his home country and maybe dump her in an orphanage, or was he going to just take her back to his home country and raise her, like a father should? But I don't know about that, if that was one of his plans or not. But I'm glad CPS did take the baby away before he could do anything like snap and hurt the baby as well. So I'm just glad that she's safe and, with someone who's going to take care of her. But unfortunately, guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. If you liked today's video, leave me a thumbs up. And please go down in the comment section down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this case, just in case I missed anything. And there are videos that are inside this video with Nancy Grace, the one and only Nancy Grace. And I will also leave links to the article that I read down in the description box, because they give a full breakdown by dates of what might have happened to her or what their theory is that happened to her. But like I said, guys, if you like today's video, please don't forget to leave me a like. Don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on this case. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Bring her case to the national forefront, and they have. What does her husband have to say? Listen to our friends at WUSA.
Yeah, it's been very terrible time, like we are just, like my baby and then myself, we are just waiting minute and second, every minute and second, just waiting like to get the, I don't know how to explain.
And more from our friends at WUSA. Listen to Mamta's husband.
been like very good, like since like few months. Like before that, one time we have like some arguments because yeah.
Do you want to grab her?
Yeah.
Now, I'm very curious about many other statements made by her husband, Naresh Bhatt, but I want you to hear this from WUSA 9.
So I'm the sufferer one. I'm the sufferer. My baby and then myself, like we are suffering the most.
She's the one missing. I'm hearing about